Hi, I'm going to teach you to find a sense of the horizon in a felt sense quality, which is a technique that I find really useful to help people, myself included, to access a state of spaciousness, a state of breath, of relaxation that sets you right and that sets you into a nice wide perspective, both mentally and also physically. And I'm going to read you something to start with, which is from this book, The Enchanted Life, by the author Sharon Blackie. So in conversation with someone else who was in a healing experience with chronic illness, the discussion the conversation goes, it was subtle. It took a while to really begin trusting the feeling sense I had. It was subtle. It took a while to really begin trusting the feeling sense I had. So one of the things that we're going to do is start to notice some subtleties and to really start to trust your own feeling sense. That is something that usually requires some recuperation. It does not require any magical special skills. I've had many people over the years come to me and say, "Oh, Lucy, I am not sensitive at all." And usually what happens, in fact I can't think of a single person who this hasn't been true for, is that actually the subtlety is just something we need to learn to pay attention to. It's almost like if you need to be taught, like, look there, that is this quality you're looking for. It's just right there. It's that feeling. It's this feeling. And then people are like, oh, that thing, I just hadn't noticed it because it was just in the background mixed up with the other colors or the other things. So subtlety and trusting in your feeling sense is really vital in the way that I have found women that I work with, and myself included, to be able to regulate the nervous system and get reset and feeling well. In the second part, I began to walk past the horizon line of what I'd been given to understand was medicine or truth. I began to walk past the horizon line of what I'd been given to understand was medicine or truth. So in this context, the woman is talking about she was given a set of expectations and she was able to go past those. In the work that we're going to do right now, it's about discovering what your horizon line feels like, and then expanding to the edges of your horizon line and feeling it as something that goes all the way around you and has a kind of a soft edge to it that can fade and move even further than that. But this is a felt sense thing. So I'm going to stop talking about it and we're going to do this exercise together. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stand up and you're just going to find your feet and you're just going to start moving. We need to bring circulation into our hands, to our fingers is the first thing that we do. And then let's interlace the fingers and stretch the arms up and just bring some stretch and movement into the sides of the rib cage, the edges of your shoulders and your arms. Take a nice breath and a long exhale. And then we can interlace the hands behind the back and just pull the shoulder blades down your back. Circle your shoulders and feel as though you drop a liquid light into your shoulders, so that as your arm comes up, as each arm comes up, that you're squeezing that liquid light in and around the joint capsule, around the upper arm bones and into the shoulder blades, around and under your shoulder blades, which gets into the back ribs. Allow that liquid light to circulate up through the muscles and up into your neck. And then drop your chin. Let your head hang heavy to open up the back of your neck. If you want to roll all the way forwards into a forward bend, we'll just go ahead. Otherwise, staying here and just letting yourself come a little forwards as your arms get heavy. And then coming back up from wherever you got to Let's put some movement into the hips, some circles. All of this movement that we do, the movement itself is going to help your brain to start gathering the information, the proprioceptive information coming from your joints that are moving in space, telling you where your body is, starting to put that information into consciousness instead of the thoughts, preoccupations and things that you've been dealing with. So we automatically start to, by coming into movement, coming into the body, to shift to the simpler stuff of life and to health. Let's take the right leg into some big circles, sweeping your leg out, and then the left side. When I teach, I really like to start off with some simple joint movements. Let's shake the hands before we go to the subtle stuff, because then you are already aware, more aware of your body. We've shaken out some of the dust and the creakiness within our joints so that we're more able to come into good awareness. Let's do some big arm movements which will balance and nourish us through the more subtle movements. In this movement, I always love to feel as though my fingers are brushing the air, like feathers, like the tips of feathers, as I take my arms back and behind me. And then let's swing the arms right and left. In this movement, if you feel stiff, imagine that your arms have weights that help them to swing freely around you. Let your arms swing and your hands tap your low back as your hands wrap. And your weight shifts fully from the right leg to the left leg. Your feet are about hip width apart. Then if you want, and it doesn't confuse the flow, the freedom, the ease of the movement, you can step one foot back so that you're now moving forwards and backwards over your feet, spreading your toes, feeling the whole surface area of your feet, and then the other stride, the other foot forwards, the other foot backwards, and your arms swing, rotating over each leg. Your weight shifts fully forwards and backwards. Arms hanging heavily, getting some nice traction into the shoulders. And then let's bring the feet side by side. And let's take the arms down, and we're going to imagine that we scoop up some energy from the earth, and we're going to bring it all the way through us and up and out like a big fountain spray. We'll do that a couple of times. And then we'll reach our arms up and we'll gather some energy from the sky and we'll bring it down and feel like it's floating through you as your hands come down in front of you and as your hands come up in front of you. So let's reach down and scoop up some energy from the ground. And feel it floating up in front and through you. Take the arms up, big fountain spray out, and then dive forwards. Gather up some more energy from the ground, spreading your toes. Reaching down, just opening up to the environment around you, the earth beneath you, the sky around you. Let's look up and reach our arms all the way up. Imagine you're reaching your fingertips up to the sky beyond the clouds, reaching up with your intention, up, up, up and up into the night sky, far, far, far up there. And then let's bring some of that down and move the hands slowly down, all the way down Just feel how that's different somehow. And then let's reach up. Stretch your legs straight, reaching up. And with the hands very light, this feeling of just letting the hands float down. As though some stardust lands on you and through you, and your hands gently move through the air, soothing you. Last one, reaching up. And then let's bring the hands down. And then for our horizon exercise, we're going to take the hands much in the same way that we just did for those two exercises, but we're just going to bring the hands to certain places. So we're going to start off with bringing some energy up from the ground, because that's just going to help us be more anchored and down, kind of rooted. And so we're going to bring some energy up from the earth. We're going to imagine that coming up through our legs, just up here to our pelvis. First of all, the hands will come up and in here, and then we will push forwards with the hands, and then our hands will go flat, and we're going to really feel into our fingertips. You can do this with me if you're watching, and the fingertips are going to go out in a circle like this, all the way out and around us. And with our perception, we can imagine, we can take our perception so far out to and beyond the horizon line, but let's just go to the horizon line first of all, to feel as though we're cultivating this really wide space around us. And then we're going to bring the hands up to a few different places, and what you'll notice is that each place in the body has its own feeling, its own tone, its own quality. So let's start off with reaching all the way down and imagining that we scoop some energy up from the ground, and then coming up to in front of the pelvis, we're going to push the hands forwards, and then we let the hands go flat, and the fingertips connect to the horizon, and that does something beautiful in the mind that just opens up this great vista. As you take the hands all the way around you, that vista opening up in front, the side, all the way around you, this great horizon that you stand in the center of. Let's reach down again and draw energy up from the ground, feeling your feet connect to the earth, feeling the earth connecting back to you. As you connect down, the earth already there, already ready to meet you, and your hands to the same place, the pelvis, just in front, and then pushing them forwards, and then the hands going flat, and the fingertips brushing the horizon. The fingertips physically where they are, but your mind can take a great launch in its perception to go wider, 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 creating a wide state of perceptive awareness, and then releasing your hands. Let's go down one more time, same spot, reaching down. Draw energy up, the earth reaching up to greet you, offering some energy. And then when your hands are here just in front of your lower belly area, let's just shift and push some of that energy forwards. And then your fingertips connecting out to the horizon in your mind's eye. And the hands going out, all the way out around you to the sides. Let that go, and then reach down again. We'll bring the hands up to the solar plexus area. Let's bring the hands up. And here, approximately the level of the solar plexus, let's just push forwards. Imagine a river of light going out from the solar plexus, and then your palms face down and your fingertips find their connection to the horizon, and your mind just connects to that and gives you this wide horizon, this wide vista. Imagine you're looking far out across the ocean or across prairies, mountains, and then bend forwards and scoop energy up, moving it up through and in front of you, all the way up. Let's come up to the heart area. Let's come just a little bit higher. And here at the heart, let's then push the hands forwards. And notice if it feels ever so slightly different. Trusting that the subtle edges, the subtle nuances, the tiny notes of difference are there. And then start to do exactly the same thing. Turning the hands, taking the hands to the sides. Standing here, this beautiful sense of horizon, this great sense of spaciousness. And you standing centered in this great spacious state. Releasing the hands, bend forwards. This time bring the hands all the way up to your throat. And here at your throat, push forwards. Imagine just being able to release the tension in your throat. And then eventually the hands have reached forwards and we're going to find our horizon. This great horizon field around us. And the spaciousness that comes to our being and the centeredness that gives us. Releasing the hands eventually and reaching down one more time. Drawing the hands all the way up, the hands moving through you. Perhaps a sense of clarity and lightness, more ease as you move the hands up to your forehead. And just in front of the forehead, we'll push forwards. You might imagine there's a ray of light shining from the center of your forehead. And then from there, connecting to the horizon. And releasing your hands down. Bring your hands in front of you, one on top of the other, approximately level with your solar plexus. And then imagine that you are standing with a walking stick, a staff, under your hands. And the staff connects to the earth, connecting, grounding you. Imagine that you're standing on a hilltop, looking out at the horizon. Feel that sense of spaciousness that the horizon gives you. It's something that we can see and feel, and the feeling sense of it can soothe us and reset us. And then just releasing your hands, we're going to do the same exercise, but we're going to bring energy from above and down, noticing as you do it how it feels and what's different about it, without trying to figure it out, just noticing that there is a different quality, just as there are in each place of the body. So let's reach up, reaching up into the sky, and draw some of that energy down to your forehead. And here at your forehead, pushing through with your hands. And connecting back to the horizon as your palms flatten and your arms go out at the level of your head to connect to the horizon and the spaciousness for your mind, cooling of your brain, release through your eye muscles and your jaw. Your arms travel down. And then reaching up one more time, and let's bring our hands down with some of that energy from above down to our throat. hands moving slowly, with care. And then here at the throat, the fingers are gentle, no rigidity in your hands. We're pushing the hands forwards, the hands moving through invisible light, energy, until the hands eventually go flat. And then here we make a horizon at the level of the throat, opening up the throat area, the front, the sides, back of the neck. Releasing your hands. Again, reaching up and drawing down. These simple movements where we're really tending to our body. These movements that are like gentle prayers, really soft, really sweet, to the heart area, and from the heart area pushing forwards. And then the hands going flat. And you're going to open the hands out to connect to the horizon. And sometimes it feels like doors open and rays start to shine from the body of light, of openness. Releasing the hands. Again, reaching up. And we'll come down to the solar plexus, drawing some energy down through you, down to the solar plexus. Here, this diaphragm area that is a place where we all have a certain amount of holding our breath from being wounded, punched in this area. So here we have the opportunity to release some of that tension, some of that holding, pushing through, imagining that as you push forwards with your hands, that some of that clenching that's often just unconscious, or even just like the old injuries that have been there, can find a bit of space. Pushing the hands forwards. If hands go flat, immediately your mind finds the great horizon. The great horizon. No small thing, the great horizon. And the greatness of spaciousness that can create for you. Hands going wide and releasing. And then our last one is going to be coming back down to the pelvis area. So reaching up, hands coming down. Learning to trust the subtleties of your felt sense. Here, pushing forwards at your pelvis. And then the hands, finding the horizon with the fingertips and your mind's eye, connecting your fingertips to the great horizon, the great feeling of spaciousness. And letting your hands just come back by your sides. Pausing here for a moment, feel your feet, feel your spine like a rod or a ray of light through the middle of you, feeling a sense of your body's midline, from the crown of your head, a midline running through you to your pelvic floor. And feel that helping to center you between the right side and whatever pulls there may be on the right side, and the left side and whatever pulls there may be on the left side. A sense of your body's midline to restore balance. And there's this beautiful sense of midline, and here we're just been creating these axes, really important axes of wellness. So the midline is one of our most important axes of wellness that I'm asking you to feel into now. And then this feeling of spaciousness, where we can go past our own boundaries to out wide in our awareness, spatial awareness to the horizon, is another great quality of wellness for us to move into the great space around us, but still with our own sense of centeredness, so we're not stepping outside and disconnecting from what is right here, what is our physical presence, but we're opening up. To spaciousness is is a beautiful strategy, a beautiful technique, a beautiful exercise. So that is the horizon movement. The first time we did it, I brought the hands up, and we did that 3 times where we brought energy up to this area. You can do 3 times in each place. I sometimes will start it just to get us grounded and into our bodies with 3 times in the first place, and then finding the other places to move through. If you want to stay with me, there's one more exercise I'm going to show you now, which is this movement. And this, now going more into the sides of the body, either side of the body's midline, helps to create balance. And the movement is so simple. It's just this, where the hands, one hand is moving down, one hand is moving up, and the hands are staying on their side of the body. So the right hand moving up through the right side of the torso, and then up the right side of the neck and head, and the same thing on the left. And the hands move really slowly. Most people, especially when they're new, are tempted to move a little faster than this, or they're tempted to try and synchronize the movement with a breath in or a breath out. Over time, you'll find you don't need to do that. Over time, you'll find that the breathing can be soft and gentle, and the hands can move really slowly, and the softness in the movement, the soft fingertips, the quality of the palms being really just all the blood vessels that become turned on, so that your sense of touch becomes enriched, and the feeling of that is soothing and balancing. I really like also turning this into a walk, so I'm going to show that, and when you're ready you can try this. But if it confuses you, then just stay with just the hand movement so that you can feel the benefits of the movement rather than just getting into your body figuring out where things are meant to go. So try to get into the feeling state to really be enriched by the movement rather than moving forwards and losing that feeling state. This simple movement one hand moving up, one hand moving down. And these are really movements for comfort, emotional comfort, and balancing, a real restoring to incredibly centered state of being, which is a daily practice for all of us to find our way of returning to our centered state of being. Let's just do a couple more. And I would say these movements really complement any kind of physical practice. I used to do, and occasionally still do, a lot of yoga. And when I came to these movements, they were more grounding, more stabilizing, and so then I added them to my yoga practice, or I replaced them sometimes. Because they would just give me a greater depth of comfort in my own being. In a sense of real emotional balance. So let's do one last movement. And then we can just bring the hands in front of the heart, letting your elbows relax, and imagining that you're holding a sphere of energy in your hands, or even imagining that you're holding your heart in your hands. The elbows hanging heavy by your sides. Feeling the front and the back and the sides of your body. And the hands full, and between the hands full. Knees slightly bent so that the low back isn't tight. Toes spread and open. And then I want you to return to your connection to the earth. And rather than you reaching down and extending and rooting, imagine the earth moving up to connect to you. The earth, a sense of blooming up and connection from the earth. And then imagine out to the horizon again as you stand here centered with the heart in your hands. Make that connection to the work that we did before. That's like an echo that's still here. Feel the work that we did before, an echo still present. You already have the horizon set up. You don't need to separate from the feeling of your heart and your hands. You just need to open up to that echo, that pre-existing horizon that's been set up. Feel yourself centered. And feel the spaciousness of the horizon and the spaciousness that gives your mind. And not just your mind, but your body, a spaciousness in your body. So that there's space for all the organization and balancing to happen within you, because things are no longer clamped and clenched, but things have enough space to sort themselves out, to slot back into the right place, for the stressed out knee injury or hip injury or tension to just find its way to relative balance. But more importantly, a sense of you just coming home into emotional comfort, that all is well. And then we'll release the hands and we will finish.